Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation where I will be talking about getting started with meta advertising. My name is Kristian and I am from a company called Dow Social. We're based in the United Kingdom in Peterborough, about an hour north of London, and basically we run social media training, coaching, and advertising management solutions for businesses large and small, from startups all the way um, through to large corporate giants.
Hey, Christian. Sorry, I lost my internet connection. So, hey
Okay, no
guys,
problem.
welcome. This is Robin from Designhill and your host for the day. I hope you and your family are keeping well and safe. I would like to welcome you for this session where we are going to talk about getting started with advertising on Meta. Today's event is brought to you by Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace that caters to the creative needs of businesses and individuals alike, who can source high quality designs from professional designers and buy unique products created by independent artists. So, moving ahead, let me introduce our speaker for today. We have with us Kristian Downer. Kristian has been running Dow Social, a social media training and support company in the UK for the last 7 years. His goal is to help businesses understand the role social media can play in their marketing and give them the strategy, plan, and knowledge to make that happen. Hey, Christian, so
Uh,
welcome to the event, and so you can start your presentation now, Christian.
no problem. Thanks so much, Robin and Designhill, for having me on. So yeah, as I spoke about very briefly there. So yeah, we are social media training, coaching, and advertising business based in Peterborough, about an hour north of London in the UK. I think I sometimes forget just how long we've been going now. So we've been going since 2013. Yeah, and we support clients from startups all the way to corporate giants across all the social media platforms. We are Facebook accredited trainers as part of their She Means Business campaign. We're a Vodafone connected advisor helping small businesses in the UK as well as Enterprise Nation. And absolutely delighted to be able to be involved with Designhill and talk to you today about um, getting started with meta ads. So for me, the reason I'd like to do these talks is because there's a bit of a paradox when it comes to marketing. Entrepreneurs and business owners and marketers are overwhelmed with choice, but face limited options as they feel that they're getting conflicting advice and the platforms they're using are changing so quickly. It can be difficult to keep on top of what's happening and what they need to know to get effective results from their marketing. And so what I want to do today is help add some clarity when it comes to advertising on Facebook or Instagram. So just to say that this is a interactive session. So please do, if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and we will look to address them as we move forwards. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to look at an overview of Facebook and Instagram advertising, because when we say Meta, Meta is the parent company for what was previously known as Facebook and Instagram. A couple of years ago, it was decided to create this parent company, and as Facebook, or as Mark Zuckerberg rather, looks to build the metaverse, this is you'll hear the name Meta more and more and more. But if I use the word Meta today, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram. So just that's a good sort of bit of shorthand there for everyone. We'll be looking at how important it is to really know your target audience before you run adverts, and to know what you're offering them and what you're trying to achieve, as well as then the kind of bits you may associate with what kind of creative we're going to run, what kind of text, what kind of video, what kind of imagery as well. And then finally, we'll look at measuring success. And I'm actually going to talk you through a campaign that we've been running for an event that we're running ourselves in the local area, and explain how we analyze the success of that campaign. So again, today, what I want you to leave this session knowing are how to choose the right objectives, audience and creative for your ads. I want you to all promise me now that you will never click that blue boost button on Facebook ever again. As hopefully I'm going to show you that that's not the most effective way to get the right results. I want you to have the confidence to be able to go in and run your own adverts as well if you're not doing so already. So I'm going to start with that question really for the people in the room at the moment. If you are already, if you've never run a Facebook ad before, could you type in the chat in big capital letters for me, never? If you're currently running Facebook ads at the moment, could you just put now in the chat, so big NOW in the chat. And if you have in the past but you're not sure and you're not running them at the moment, just put not sure in the chat for me as well. So we're seeing Arifa and Samantha never. We're seeing a few people are saying they're running them now, like Marsha Lynn is running ads now. We've got lots of, so we've got differing levels of expertise, knowledge and experience of running Facebook ads in the room, which is always good to know. So let's start by giving you an overview of meta ads. So when we run ads for people and when we recommend they run ads, we always recommend they use the desktop if possible, and we recommend that they use Facebook Ads Manager as well. So you can get to that from the business suite that I'll show you before. And the reason that we do this is that the best tools for running Facebook and Instagram ads are in the Ads Manager. You can select to run ads just to Instagram from here. You can select multiple placements, whether it be your Facebook or Instagram, could be Reels, you could choose to run it on the stories. Run all that from the Ads Manager in a nice, simple, easy to effective way. One of the reasons we're not fans of the boost button is very simply that you get much more limited options with that and some of the other ad technical functionality that you might have from other ways Facebook allow you to run ads. And it's not the most effective way to get your budget across and to start getting the results that you need. So the great thing about Facebook is that you can run Facebook ads from a budget of £1, because what it means is you can start small, see what works, what doesn't, and then scale up as you start to get the results that you want. Okay, so a couple of things before we get too deep into it is when you're getting started on your ads, you may want to add the Facebook pixel to your website, which will allow you to potentially retarget people that visit your website. But what I would say on that is with iOS 14.5, you're now required to do an extra step within Facebook, which is to verify your domain. So if you're not sure what to do on that, you can just go on YouTube and look up, verified domain, and there are tons of great tutorials on how to do that. But basically, part of the reason for this is, and this is going to be a big theme of why this isn't as important in the past, is that Facebook and Apple are having there's definitely some friction there. Particularly a big trend we're going to see around digital marketing is concerns around privacy and tracking. So in the golden days, if you like, you'd put that pixel on your website, and then Facebook would know whenever someone comes on your website and kind of put a little cookie on them, so that whenever they were on Facebook, you could then retarget them to run ads. What Apple have done is to say that they don't believe that is the best option for their users for their privacy. So now, I don't know if anyone here's got an iPhone or seen this, but when you go on Facebook for the first time, a pop-up will come and say, would you like Facebook to track you, basically? And a lot of people are saying no, and that's really affecting the quality of the data that we're getting. So a lot of what's happened around meta ads in the last 12 months has been mitigating that and making sure we can get some level of attribution. So I just wanted to start there and address kind of iOS 14.5 if you've heard of that before we get started. So the other thing before we get started is you need to make sure that you have a process, a plan, a process, and an offer for what you're doing in your business. So we've had this before where clients have said, run some ads for us, generate them an absolute ton of leads and they can't cope. They don't have enough people to ring up, or if they have a sales process that requires meetings and phone calls, but they don't have anyone assigned, or they don't have enough people to do that, and it quickly falls down, and you have this kind of really bad effect of essentially you've paid money to get the interest of the people, but you actually put them, you're not selling to them because you're not following up, and you've not got a clear process of what's going to happen to get them from your advert to a sale. And the ones that you do get in are going to get annoyed because they're really excited that you've kind of got them on board to be a potential customer, and nobody contacts them. So it really frustrates them. So if you don't have that process in place, you can have all the leads, all the inquiries that you like, but you're not going to get any sales. So it's really important to make sure you've got that process and that plan in place, and also a really clear understanding of what your offer is and why people should have it. We see, so many businesses where they come to us and want Facebook ads, and what we really need to do with them is work on making sure they've got a really, really strong offer that their target audience understands and are able to buy into. I will go through what a good offer looks like as we go through this training with you. So the right process for Facebook ads for you or meta ads for you is going to depend on your business. It's going to depend on your sales funnel, and where people are in that sales funnel. Is it that you're selling e-commerce and people can go straight to your website and buy something, or is it that you're selling a consultancy service, or you're going to do, you're going to refurbish someone's garden, so you need to go and have an appointment or a discussion with them, or is it that it might take them years to buy your product, so you want to get them into a sales funnel where you can send them emails and follow-ups and kind of build a relationship that way. So really going to depend on the type of business you have, how your sales funnel works, and how people go from finding out about you to start with to being a client, and then finally your target audience and how this fits with them. So this is an example of how we used to run ads pre-iOS 14.5. It just shows a clear process. I'm not looking for you to have anything this complicated within your business. A clear idea of how we were running ads and our methodology. So identifying our audience, running ads to them where they didn't know us, building up some audiences around behaviors that I'll talk about in a little bit more depth, then remarketing them with what we actually want them to do. So hopefully as we go through this, you'll get a basic level of that strategy for you and your business. So as we said, you can run ads on Facebook and Instagram directly using Facebook Ads Manager. And the key elements that you're going to have are going to be the objectives, so what you want people to do, the audience who you're targeting, and the creative that's going to make them take that action. So when we're going to measure, or we're going to look at, what's going to be key to making sure we have success with our ads, we're going to want that, as I said, that can't stress this enough, that clear target audience, an objective that fits with the sales process, a clear call to action. And this is important as well, because we see this all the time where you see an ad or you see something and it's like, click this button to visit our website, call us, email me, here's my phone number, here's my WhatsApp. And there's like 5 different calls to action there. And what happens is people get lost in that, and they just don't take any action. I always say that, whether it's social media organic or social media paid ads like we're talking about today, you want to treat the audience as if they were a small child, and you want them to do something. If you give a small child lots of different instructions, you say, go upstairs and bring me your favorite toy, also wash your hands, and something else. You give them the 3-4 things, they're going to come back and they've done something totally different. They'll have got distracted halfway up the stairs and nothing will happen, basically. Whereas if you give them a clear instruction, I want you to do this one thing, then they'll go away, and you've got a much better chance of them doing that. Now, your target audience, just like that small child, won't always do exactly what you want them to, but with that clarity, you're going to get a much better chance of getting a result. So I mentioned the value of having a good offer when we're running ads. And so for me, the formula for a good offer is you need a product or service that you're going to sell. It needs to be relevant to your target audience. there needs to be a good solid reason for why they need to act now. Need to explain to them what happens from the transformation from before they had the product to after they had the product, and it needs to be specific. So it could be, for example, that I mentioned, it's summertime here in the UK, so it could be that it's gardening services. It could be that you're selling gardening services. It's relevant because you can talk about, overgrown garden, or it's being hot. It's actually, dare I say, it's actually hot and sunny for the UK at the moment. So you can mention that weather and how that's relevant. The act now, so don't, because it's sunny, you might want to, get the garden looking nice, to have friends over. The transformation between having a messy or untidy garden to having a nice, clean, tidy, beautiful garden that's going to make you proud, happy, and so on. And it's specific what action. So we're going to come and do a tidy up, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And that is, in essence, the tie-up of your offer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the different steps of this process, step by step, to give you an idea of how you can get started with running an advert. So the first thing we can do here is we go into business.facebook.com, or which should take you to your business suite. Some people might be on excuse me, Business Manager, but most people are going to be on Business Suite. Now, I mentioned before, there are lots of different options you see here that mention adverts, but we're going to want to, when we go onto our Business Manager, we're going to go down and click the three lines here, and then we're going to want to come across to where it says Ads Manager. Click that one, and that is going to take us to our Ads Manager, which is going to look vaguely like this. And we're going to want to click the green button that says Create. And now the great thing about the green button is we're going to talk about objectives. When we click that green button, Facebook automatically, we talked about that sales funnel, has set the objectives that you want at the campaign level to be around what you want the audience to do, and mapped to that sales funnel. So it's basically, once you click Create, Facebook goes, okay, what do you want to achieve? What do we want to do? Do we want to achieve brand awareness? So we want people to be more aware of who we are. Do we just want to reach as many people as we want? So good examples of where you might want to do that might be if you are a local restaurant, or you might want to reach as many people, make sure all the people in a small local area know as much about you. Or if you're a bigger brand, if you're Coca-Cola or something like that, and you just want to make sure you're keeping yourself out there and visible, that's there. Now the key bit here is that there is not a generally a call to action with this. This is very much just putting out a message that you want people to see. Then it goes, look, well, actually, if they're more in the middle of the funnel, these kind of things where they're thinking about you, get to know you a little bit better. We've got, do you want traffic? I.e., do you want people to go to specific websites? So, do we want people to go to your website or to a different place? So that's traffic. Engagement is, do we want to build reputation and trust by building engagement with the audience and getting them to like, comment, share, and engage with what, watch the video of what we're doing? Is it that we want them to install an app if you have an app? Is it that you want them to view, the thing that you're going to measure is going to be the amount of times they view the video that you've uploaded, as that will give you an option to retarget people that have watched a certain amount of your video. Is it that you want them to fill out a form, a lead generation form on your website that you can follow up? I mentioned the landscape gardeners. So exactly what we do is we have a form they can fill out that allows them to then move forwards and start a conversation. Next up, we have messages. Do you want them to send you a message to your page? Now, this can actually also now be to WhatsApp as well. So do you want them to WhatsApp you? Or do you want them to send you a message and have a conversation, feel much more engaged and kind of build a rapport with people? Or are you in kind of the e-commerce space, or you're looking to measure conversions, people signing up to a webinar, people buying something from your catalog, or even matching up and seeing who has come to our store offline because of the ads that we've been running? So when we're setting our objective, very much depends on what we're going to achieve, obviously. And this is, again, just linking that back to that sales funnel that we've just shown you there, and the way that maps here. You can see that this almost directly corresponds with this sales funnel as we go from lead generation, lead nurturing to sales. Okay, so the next important piece of the puzzle is, so we're at the campaign level. We now need to work out who our target audience is. So when we go to the next stage, the ad set level, the middle level, one of the options we're going to get is to decide our target audience that we're going to target and how that's going to look. So our target audience is going to be determined by a number of factors, but to succeed on Facebook, you're really going to need to understand who you want to talk to and what you want them to do and what their behaviors and habits are. So there are 3 types of audience on Facebook that we're going to talk about today. First of which is a saved audience, then a custom audience, and then we're going to briefly touch on a lookalike audience as well. Okay, so a saved audience is basically an audience you create based on the data that Facebook has already about the users in its platform. So you can target people here by their demographics, so where they are in the world, their age, what languages they speak, but also then you can go and use detailed targeting, target people with specific interests and demographics. Now, an interesting trend that we won't get a chance to get too much into today is that you'll see that a lot of, again, with the privacy concerns, the amount of targeting options you're getting with Facebook is actually diminishing on this page as the number of data points that they kind of collect and record are being reduced as part of this overall privacy drive towards privacy and transparency. However, what's being replaced by that is whenever you launch a Facebook ad, immediately the content is much more important, and Facebook starts analyzing how people respond to your ad straight away and starts showing it and almost finding your audience for you automatically using the algorithm. So even if you had no targeting, if your advertising copy and video or creative is clear exactly who you're targeting, Facebook will find them for you, which is amazing, absolutely brilliant functionality, and just such a clever piece of AI that builds that intelligence around your audience. And as it runs, it gets better and finds it for you. So again, we run ads where it may be all predominantly women that buy, but we select, even if we select both genders, Facebook will realize quite quickly that it's maybe a product that's more targeted towards women, and it will, if that's who's responding, and you'll see quite quickly the gender that is responding most and that you're paying to reach the most on Facebook will be women. So that's a saved audience. Then we have a custom audience. A custom audience is based on behavior that people have done while to your business and your brand. So there are basically, as it says here, your sources. So you can use the pixel and verify your domain to target people who've been on your website, people that have engaged if you have an app. You can actually also upload your customer list or your email list into Facebook and then target an audience of those people. What I would say is, I know we've got people from all around the world today. It's important to make sure that whatever practices you have with that data around opt-in the UK, it's called GDPR. But you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is compliant with the local data management and processing, as that does differ quite significantly as we go around the world. And then we've got the Facebook sources, so people that have watched your videos, people that have filled out a form in the past, maybe people that have been on your shopping or on your, target people by how they've engaged with your Instagram account, whether they've engaged with an event that you're running, or they've engaged with your Facebook page as well. So custom audiences are great for finding people that already possibly know a little bit about you, a little bit warmer, and allow you to retarget those. So typically, I would normally, if we have a strong sales message, we would run an ad that's maybe about engagement or traffic to the website, and then we would run a more focused ad targeting those people that have taken an action, which is more salesy and more driven to getting that conversion. So that brings me nicely on to how to retarget and convert. So essentially, conversion adverts are best used for custom audiences, we just mentioned, and you want to use when you're higher up in the funnel with cold audiences, i.e. people that don't know you, you want to use more interest, awareness, and engagement type adverts. And as we mentioned, iOS 14.5 is creating lots of problems with identifying where traffic's coming from. So maybe, because people have got their privacy and they're not being tracked. It doesn't mean they're not going on the website, and it doesn't mean that the ad's not working. And just make it a little bit harder to show that that's the case. Okay, so just going to take a minute now for me to have a quick drink, and Designhill are going to show you a quick VT.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this session. It's time for the mid-roll. Before we move forward, I would like to give a quick shout out to Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace, for organizing this event.
I've always been creative and always been an artist. As a young girl, I used to paint rocks and I used to sell them for $0.25 on the street. And I just fell in love with it. It just grew into a passion of mine. I started looking on the web and I came across Designhill, and they had a design contest to design a logo, and I entered it and I won. And I was like, oh, this is really great. I can pick and choose what type of logos or design projects I want to work on, and it allows me to be creative, keep my hands, with my tools and working. So it's kind of nice. It's really easy to use. You can scroll through the projects and there's sections that you could go by. It's really easy. There's a few clients who have come back to use the one-on-one projects. There's one client in particular, she owns a vintage shop, and I designed her logo, and she came back. She needed a design for a flyer, and she really liked the illustrations that I did for her, so she came back a couple of times with projects. I would recommend it, especially if you're a designer that's starting out and you want to learn from other designers, seasoned designers. It's a place to keep in the game and keep using your tools. It makes me feel great, and it kind of confirms that I should be doing this. And I love to see logos that I've designed out, and proud of that. And I think that the clients are so happy that their logo represents what they do and makes them look good. It's a collaboration. It's good for me, and it's definitely good for them.
All right, we are back again. So Kristian, over to you. You can start the session again.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks so much. So I'm just going to share a link for those that are finding today's session of value. Just why not follow me on LinkedIn for more social media tips and advice as we go through. So I'm just going to send that out now, so you can access that as well. So hopefully that's showing on the screen. Just say yes if you can see that if that's displayed for you now. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, now we're going to go through and start looking at different types of advert, and we're going to look at what makes them stand out. We're going to look at that value of that clear audience, that clear call to action, and when we're running an ad, we'll talk about aspiration and the pain point as well. So a good advert is based on exactly calling out your audience. Here you can see it. So call out your audience. Who is it? So please let's make this a bit more interactive. So just in the chat, put what you sell in in less than a sentence, and who you sell it to, and don't say everybody. I think the target audience is really important to get a better understanding of. When we say target audience, be extremely targeted in who we're talking to. So for example, for me, mine is business owners and directors that are struggling to get social media to work for their business, and they typically are between the ages of, I would say, about 35 and 55, although we do go slightly younger, sometimes we go slightly older. We have two audiences split. So we have the B2B, the more professional things where we talk more about LinkedIn, and then we have our direct to consumer, or some of our B2B clients where we talk about Facebook and Instagram and the advertising platforms. yeah, anyone else want to share kind of what they do and who they do it for? So Lorraine, share with me who would be the person that would buy that campaign to invite audience to sign up for memberships. Who is it that they membership organizations? So I imagine that, you know, you would work for, this advert might be run a membership organization, need to sell more, you know, explain the problem. It can be hard to get members to sign up and take out, or it can be hard to get potential members to sign up and take action. We can help by providing X service. Click this button to learn more, to book a call with one of our team, or, you know, here's our quick download to download our 10 tips and tricks to reach your audience a little bit better. Anyone else got that kind of want to share what they do and who they do it for? You know, just so give a few more different examples of kind of how this would work. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through whilst we wait. Yes, so Simon's Gorman. So small business owners, we can improve your website. On that one, I would probably want to be, you know, I think it's great you've called out small business owners. I would probably want to go more niche. You know, is there a particular type of business owner that you work with? Is it, you know, is it plumbers? Is it accountants? Who is it? Because that always works so much better than the generic kind of thing. So with your one, it might be, say it's accountants. You know, again, with the improve your website, we want to talk about, make that a bit more tangible. What does improve mean? Because if improve means like improve the graphics slightly, that might be make the website look better, but it doesn't give me that kind of suggestion. So it might be accountants, accounting partners or partners at accountancy firms want to generate more leads from your website. We can help you create a website perfect for your target audience that gets you found and gets you inquiries 24/7, something like that. Click this button to speak to one of our team, or to fill out an inquiry form, or to download the 5 mistakes people make with the accountants make with their websites. Make it really, really spot on with that. So Arifa said, I pre-order clothing from online websites to sell back. So I guess if you were selling it to people that couldn't get that thing, I'm guessing it's kind of like a scalping type thing. You're getting it first and there's too much demand for it. So it could be, couldn't get, you know, your audience might be the people that can't get the items. It could be, couldn't get the latest, I don't know, Gucci shoes. I don't know fashion, I'm sorry. Couldn't get the latest Gucci shoes. We've managed to sneak a pair, or we've managed to grab a couple. Why not buy? You know, why not check out our listings? You know, and then you could push them to the website. Anyone else got any more? So as we do that, I'm just going to look through some of, you know, as examples of this. So what makes a good ad? So here, you know, we've called out the audience. It's a local display for an air ambulance. So we've just put, you know, nice and clear, hunting the fireworks display, 29th of October. And the array course. How we could change this is we did run some that had like parents, get ready for fireworks night, and then follow that. But we've given that on that offer thing, why you want to act now. Early bird discount if you book now. Nice, clear call to action. Book now because you're going to get a discount. It's why I'm going to do it now rather than put it off. You know, one of the big things you'll see from advertisers will be, you know, they're trying to create FOMO. Last few, not many left. You know, act now or you know, you'll miss out because, you know, you only have your audience's attention for a split second. So you've got to give them a reason to disrupt that pattern and take action now. Otherwise, they'll forget. Everyone's really, really good intention. Oh yeah, I'll do that later. Later never comes. It's like, you know, always that thing with, you know, salesmen in, you know, a car, selling cars. Oh yeah, I'll come back later. They never come back. You know, I've worked in those kind of jobs, sales jobs, you know, never come back. So you want to give them that reason why they want to act now. make sure that's nice and clear. So we did one again, Christmas cards for them. Getting really focusing on that pain. Sort your Christmas cards, support life-saving charity, have a mince pie. So we try to be a bit more playful. But we've used the carousel feature here as well, because we've not touched on it too much. But when you're creating your ads, you've got an option for your creative. You can have an image, you can have an instant experience, where if you've got products, you can kind of add a few in. You can have a video. And what would work best for you is really going to depend on what your product is, who you're selling it to, and what's going to make them respond best. But video is more and more important, so where possible, definitely consider using a video. Here we used a carousel. So we run an event, or we're running an event, and in Peterborough, and I'm just going to talk you through how we did this, and how we approached it, our mindset, our thoughts. So we ran some leaflets. So we ran a couple of brand awareness adverts where we were running the leaflets to make the event really, really specific. So in our audience, you actually can use some of these tools to create, put a pin basically when you're doing the target audience piece to really target a small geographical area and do that. We then ran lead generation adverts, so we made it really easy for people to sign up the event, and then made sure they got an email follow-up once they'd done that. So we can see here, this is the targeting, that we mentioned, where we've got our audience, and then we put a pin in this map, and it tells us roughly how many people are there, how many are going to see it. So we've gone for no targeting as we run this as well. So then this was our advert that we actually ran for brand awareness. And then when we're on the lead generation, slightly bigger budget, you can see the kind of the reach that we were looking to get and the leads that would be generated. Facebook's sort of idea of what it thinks the audience would be, as well as what results we're going to get. And then here's a few of the different ad types that we ran. Here you can see LinkedIn fundamentals, free workshop for business owners, free workshop for people, business owners, directors, free workshop business. You see how we're really calling out that audience, making that clear, trying different creatives as well. Really mixing it up and seeing what's gonna work best. And then this is the form that we used. You see, nice and simple. And then at the end, give them a call to action, which is to join the Facebook group for that marketing series, workshop series that we're running. And here you can see we don't just run one ad within. We run. Well, here it was 8. And basically we let Facebook decide which one works best. So you create your ads, you create your campaign, then your ad set with your targeting, then you can create your ads, and you can create more than one ad per the kind of the targeting that you have. And what Facebook then does is decide which one works best. You can see here we've kind of worked through, and in the end, this version 5 has worked out best for us, creating ads or creating bookings for our workshop and what the cost would be. Finished slightly ahead of schedule, but I just wanted to say that there are a couple of ways to kind of keep in contact with me. The first one, as I mentioned, that call to action of connecting on with me or following me on LinkedIn. The other option I'd like to offer everyone as well about your ads, maybe look at this offline, then book a call with me to discuss your ads, and I'm going to put a link to how you can do that now. Okay, so that's the presentation over. I'm just going to say thank you to Robin and Designhill for having me, and open it up to any questions.
Yes, Kristian. So that was a great presentation. I hope you guys learned a lot from it. So Kristian, now let's come to the questions. So at the moment we have 2 questions in the questions tab. So the first question is from Lauren. She's asking, what's your recommendation of Facebook has restricted my account and has no chance for appeal? Is creating a new profile be fine?
Okay, so this is a difficult question first up to look at. So unfortunately, it is not uncommon. This has happened to me in the last month or so, where basically Facebook has a staggering amount of advertisers. I think it's 14 million active advertisers across the world. So as you can imagine, it makes it very difficult to kind of manage that on a personal level, and they rely on automation to kind of monitor the accounts and make them function. Now, this means that you can get caught up whether you've broken the policies or not. Now, obviously, I don't know the specifics around your account. I would definitely try and speak to support again and see if there's a way to launch that appeal by going to your account quality. Let me see if I can bring up account quality. So just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
Share. So you can see here, you can come into account quality. And it shows me if there's anything that's gone wrong, and if there is, the big red, this will be big red, and there'll be an option to review. You can also see the status of the account and then the issues that you might have had as well. As for creating a new profile, new account, that you can try that. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that's going to work. It's possible, Facebook may make that connection again, but I think one of the key things I would say here is, even if you run your own business and it's just you, is one of the ways to deal with this is to make sure you always have someone else, even if it's a family friend or someone that has access to your page and has access to your ad accounts. That way you can kind of, even if you personally have issues, still be able to continue working. Sorry, I can't be more help there, Lorraine, but it is unfortunately quite a complicated and difficult issue to solve that one.
Great. So thank you so much, Kristian, for answering this question. I hope, Lauren, this answers your query. So let's come to the second question now. It's from Nikhil Kumar Singh. He's asking how we can engage in better outfits to come up with great ideas of originating ads for the purpose of emerging rise of advertising.
Okay, I must admit I'm just trying to make sure I understand fully what Nikhil is asking us here. So how can we engage in better outfits to come up with great ideas for originating ads for the purpose of merging? So I think what we're saying is, how can we create better adverts, basically? How can we come up with better ideas to create effective adverts? So one of the great tools that Facebook has is you can see any advert that is currently live on the platform. Because I mentioned all the privacy and things like that. Well, one of the ways that Facebook's being more transparent is allowing you to see the adverts that are live. So there's two ways to see this. One of which is to go onto the Facebook page of any of a competitor that you want to see what they're doing. Maybe an industry leader, and you go to a section called Page Transparency. And what it will do is it will tell you whether that company is running ads or not, and it will then also tell you basically, show you those adverts. So let me just bring that up as an example to show you as well. So so what I'll do is I'll use Designhill as my example. I'll find the Designhill Facebook page. Bear with me. So we're on the Designhill page. On the left-hand side, we can go to Page Transparency, and we can see where the people are based, and we can also see the ads library. because we can see they're currently running ads, and we can see there are a number of different ads that are being run at the moment. And you can do this for any business. You can even do it on a search. So I just Google Facebook ad library. This comes up as the top result. So I can UK category. So is anyone, is it a particular, because there are categories that are restricted within Facebook, particularly around elections or politics. You need to do more they need to vet you a little bit more before they allow you to run those kind of ads. And also with property, employment or credit, there are more restrictions around those than there are other types of advertising. We go all adverts, and I don't know, let's go with shoes. Any ads with the word shoes will now come up, and we can see the kind of ads that people are running, and that give you an idea and some ideas. And I always say, you don't want to copy people, but you can be inspired by people, right? You can see what kind of style they're using, what kind of words are using. Now, one of the restrictions of the ads library is it doesn't tell you which of these ads are working or not. It just gives you an idea of what's being done. And we see here some great big bright creatives as well, which I love. Some are better with their text as well. One thing I would say is here, all this text, there should be a line break, just because people don't read too much text all at one go. But yeah, people only really read the first line anyway, unless you convince them to read across the whole of the page. So that's, I don't know if that's answered your question, Nikhil, but that's what I think maybe you needed some information on.
Great. So I think that's all for the questions. So guys, this brings us to the end of this wonderful workshop with Kristian. This was indeed a value-packed session. Although there is a lot more that we could have covered, but unfortunately we are limited by time here. I hope you guys loved this session. Once again, I would like to thank you, Kristian, for taking out time to be a part of this event.
No, my absolute pleasure. And as you said, I could talk about Facebook ads all day long. So thank you for the opportunity to share just an hour.
All right, guys, this is not where it ends. We have a lot more events lined up for you. So don't forget to check out our events page. To watch this session and other such wonderful sessions, subscribe to our official YouTube channel. You can find the link in the chat section. And for all the designers and artists who are listening to this and wish to be a part of thriving design community, visit designhill.com. On that note, I would like to say bye to everyone who joined us here today. Take care, guys, and stay safe.